I can't say the same for a lot of the stars that we have to talk about today. Well, Charlie Sheen's warring fiance is warring with his ex-wife, Denise Richards. And Chris Brown is out of jail. I know. And Ray J goes to jail. And I'll break down all the drama of that Kim-Ye wedding. Let's talk about it and more. It's time for Hot Topics. I hope you enjoyed the encore presentation of our show last week. Unfortunately, sometimes here at Wendy, we do have to take time off, like most people do at their jobs. I miss you too, though, and it's nice to be back live. Yeah. But I had a nice week off. I got a lot accomplished. We didn't go anyplace. I spent a lot of time in my robe with my wig in the drawer in the house. I got a great dose of Sex in the City. There was a big marathon on yesterday. And then there's this new show on the ID channel that I absolutely love. It's called Secret Lives of Stepford Wives. Have you ever watched that? Yes. So good. And then last week I went to see Tamar Braxton in concert here in New York. She was good. All the Tamartians were out. I also hosted the R&B Divas Atlanta reunion. Let me tell you something. You know, I'm not sure of the air date, but I know that it's a two-parter, and there was crying, there was people walking off the set, coming back with shoes on, and a whole lot of drama, as reunions go. Also, I spent some time working on my jokes for my comedy act in Vegas at the Venetian on July 11th. Yeah. And last night for dinner, I made stuffed cabbage. It's a recipe that I got off of thechew.com. I love stuffed cabbage. You stuff it with brown rice and a little ground turkey and a little ground beef and lots of great seasonings, and then you put it in the oven, and I like to use the purple and the green just for extra color. But if you want to learn how to do it, just go to their website at thechew.com. That's what I did. Oh, anyway, we're back, and Kim and Kanye, while they got married the other weekend, it's still the story that keeps on giving. I must tell you, I love the flower wall. And I don't know how many wedding dresses she wore on account of, I don't really care about weddings, yours, mine, theirs. I told you I'm a justice of the peace girl, but I don't know which particular wedding dress it was that she wore, but one where she showed us her back shot and it dipped down low, and that right there. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And, all right, so there were a bunch of people there, but certainly wasn't who I'm sure she wanted to really be there, like Jay-Z and Beyonce. They both skipped the wedding. Beyonce got her summertime braids and they went to the Hamptons. They spent the weekend in the Hamptons. Perfect. Rachel Roy was there, the clothing designer, who allegedly was at the center of the elevator fiasco. On another note, it's really big that Ryan Seacrest was not there. Considering he put the Kardashians on the map, well, actually she did with Ray J on her back. But then, you know, he's the one who produces the reality show, so it says a lot that Ryan Seacrest wasn't there. It's like laughable a lot, I mean. And then Mario Lopez wasn't there, and he was invited. Now, this is like right in his wheelhouse of stuff he'd do, go to the Kardashians' wedding. The idea that Mario Lopez didn't go is a silent diss to the Kardashian Kanye. And then the stepbrother, Brody Jenner, as you know, was not there because it's alleged that he did not get a +1. You know, as the stepbrother, you know, like I do believe in +1s, and certain people don't need to get +1s when you're invited someplace, whether it's a party, whether it's my house, whether it's a wedding or something like that. But this is the brother. This is Bruce's son. And he wasn't allowed to bring his +1. But I think the biggest drama that overshadowed the whole wedding, in my opinion, is that Rob Kardashian bailed before the wedding, or Jenner, or Kardashian bailed Well, there's Rob. He flew back to LA right before the ceremony. Reportedly, he had a meltdown because the family was allegedly fat shaming him. Well, you know, he's gained a significant amount of weight and he's doing his best to try to lose the weight. I have no idea why he's held on to the weight for so long, you know, because every once in a while the paparazzi does see him going into the gym and stuff. They say his heart is still broken over his ex-girlfriend Rita Ora. I don't believe that. I think that Rob has just been damaged by that woman that he calls mom and the way and those people that he calls family that are so caught up in their images, you know what I mean? On another note rather, I heard that Bruce, the entire time walking down the aisle, and even when he gave her away and stood in the front, he was crying like a woman and had a handkerchief in his hand, like the whole time, like just crying and making these really weird sounds. So I don't know what that was all about. All I know is that if the wedding survives the marriage, the 73 days, I did promise you that I will eat the crow. Now I believe there's 3 days down, so I have like 70 more days. Unfortunately, we won't be here in 70 days, right? We're going on summer vacation. But don't worry, the first day of our new season, September 15th, I'll bring my hot sauce and bring my fork, and we'll get a chef to make me some crow, if they're still married. And I was so shocked about Ray J being arrested over the weekend because this is out of his character, you know? But I have a few theories. First, I'll explain the story. Okay, so police were called to a bar after Ray J was accused of touching a woman inappropriately. Probably on a boob or a butt, cheek, you know, something. When Ray J was asked to leave the bar, he became unruly. This is out in LA. And he kicked and shattered the window of the cop car and also spit in the cop's face. Well, all that happened at the parking garage. You know, after they got him out of the bar, he went to the parking garage and apparently he was acting really belligerent there. And so the parking attendants made a citizen's arrest. I didn't know those were real. I thought that those were only like in the movies. You could just arrest people. Can you imagine somebody saying, stay right here, I'm calling the cops, this is a citizen's arrest? So anyway, I guess they take Ray J down to the station house. He was out in a matter of celebrity moments, the way it goes with celebrities. But my thing is that this is out of character. He's a lover, he's not a fighter. Maybe he was trying to get more attention because Kim, you know, got married and, you know, stars a lot of times when they've had a past together, they try to compete for attention at the same time. But I'm also thinking that this could be calling attention to Ray J because Ray J is supposed to star in Love and Hip Hop Los Angeles. Yes, and you know how richity-ratchety the Love and Hip Hop shows are. I heard behind the scenes he already has 2 girls fighting over him. And that fighting probably isn't like, I love him more, I love him more. It's probably like fighting like how they do on VH1, like fist to face. Anyway, Ray J, it's not in your character. It's definitely not cool. But we'll be watching. Lemony. Chris Brown is out of jail. I know, you feel the same way I do. I feel the same way. There was a time when we talk about Chris Brown and everybody be booing and saying, you know, little boy needs to learn his lesson. But I gotta tell you something. I am so encouraging him to do better. He served 108 of the 131 days that he was sentenced, and he immediately got on Twitter. But guess what he said? Humbled and blessed. That's it. I know. I mean, he's not out of the woods yet. He still has to go to the court in DC to answer questions about an assault. The trial begins in a few months. But let's see if he can make it through the summer. Which I'm sure that, I mean, baby steps, everyone, baby steps. Here's the thing, if he has to go on trial for something, another, you know, legal fraction in a few months. That means he'll probably at least stay on the up and up, you know, sober, nice boy, clean cut, at least until he goes to the next trial. I'm thinking, even after that trial, if he can make it to the first of the year, he's good. He needs to, though, every time he does it, first of all, a lot of time in the studio, create that music that we all love, but sometimes feel guilty about because sometimes you act so bad, Chris. So make that music, eliminate at least half of his crew, because you gotta figure everybody that you hang out with is not bad, but we all have at least 3 friends in our wheelhouse that we just need to get rid of. And we either do it or avoid them or whatever. You know, he needs to get rid of those bad friends, keep the blinds shut, and you know, keep his head down and do a lot of TV watching and stay out of the clubs. I know, you know, he's young. The club will be there after you get yourself together. Karrueche, I didn't have an opinion of her to begin with, but we were talking about her this morning in our Hot Topics meeting, and this is a girl that has really stuck by him. I mean, yeah, you could say she's the one who broke up Rihanna and Chris Brown, but even after that breakup, she stood by him, and they're still together. And if you're gonna be with her, then just be with her, and just have couples time and make music and stay out of trouble. My thing about being engaged to somebody is that you don't have a right to pipe up about nothing until you walk down the aisle officially, and you can call yourself Mr. and Mrs. Then you come out of your face and talk about the ex-wife. And you know what I'm saying? You don't do that while you're engaged. An engagement does not mean a wedding. You can't tell Brett, Charlie Sheen's fiance, that. Well, Charlie Sheen's fiance, Brett, who, by the way, she's not going by her porn name Brett anymore. She's going by her government name, Scottine. And even though they're not married, she's already adapted Sheen. So Scottine Sheen. Well, she's reportedly demanding that Charlie cut all of his ties with his ex-wife, Denise Richards. Now, you know, Denise has kids with Charlie. So, of course, Brett is less than smart. You know, this one she adopted Denise after a while. Anyway, but these two are Charlie's. If you couldn't tell, they're his spitting image. So now, Charlie, based on what Scottine Brett has said, has kicked, or is in the process of kicking Denise out of their house that he bought for her and the kids after the kids allegedly got thrown out of school because of Charlie's indecent Twitter rages. You remember, this was like back in the day, maybe a year ago. Anyway, if you look here at the map that we've arranged for you, you'll see house number 1, that's where Charlie Sheen lives. It's a gated community, everybody's rich. You can tell by all the tennis courts and pools. And then house number 2 is the house where Denise lives with Charlie's kids, and now they go to the Charlie Sheen school system. So they got kicked out of the old school and they had to move. So Charlie bought them this house. Well, Scottine Brett doesn't want Denise to step foot in the house, which Charlie is not allowed to have, allegedly, unsupervised visits with his kids. And Scottine has yet to walk down the aisle. It seems to me that, I'm not talking about porn stars, but I'm just gonna say, in general, as a profession of a porn star, when you end up marrying into Hollywood royalty, regardless of how kooky sometimes Charlie acts, that was a come up for you, Scottine. Why don't you shut your pie hole? Shut up. I mean, don't make people choose between a porn star and their children, because generally speaking, the children win all the time. Charlie, it's not like Charlie and Denise have never acted in a weird way where I ever thought that they were still sleeping together. She is simply a good mom. I call her Saint Denise. You know I call her that because when Brooke, his other baby's mother, went to rehab, and I don't know that she might still be in there, huh? She's out?
She's got the kids again.
She's got the kids again? Okay, well, it was Denise who held everything together. And basically, Brett, I don't know what you have to offer this family right now except for a bunch of nonsense advice that might get him to take the ring back and you'll never walk down the aisle. So, shut up. There's lots of celebrity romance news. It's time for hookups and breakups. Hit it! Is everybody happy? Well, this one got lost in all the chit-chat about Kanye and Kim getting married. But do you know that Sofia Vergara and her fiancé Nick Loeb split after 4 years? Well, when I tell you why, you'll say this is probably 2 years in the coming. Sophia said that their jobs forced them to spend way too much time apart. I know, that's ambiguous to you. Well, you know, he's the onion crunch king, and no, they're delicious. You can put them on your eggs in the morning or in your salad. They're kind of like the onion version of Bacos, and they sell them at my King's. Anyway, he's the onion crunch king. And he's based out of New York, and she is based out of LA. Well, inside sources say that Sophia was sick of him using her name and fame to promote his onion crunch business and to allegedly try to get acting jobs. Hold on, I'll tell you. First of all, he brought onion crunch to the Emmys. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Second of all, he brought onion crunch to the White House to try to give to the executive chef. Can you imagine dressed in your finery and having a thing of onion crunch in your pocket? And it's not like they come in packets like Knorr's dressings and seasonings and stuff, you know, the packet. No, they're cylinders and they're tall. And then he secretly tried to get a movie role in a movie that Sophia's doing along with Reese Witherspoon. Look, he went behind Sophia's back and he auditioned for the part. And then, yes, and he told the people at the movie, don't tell Sophia I want to surprise her. Well, of course they told her, and it's about time. Damn you, Nick, you're cute, but you are a real opportunist. So, and she's got a son named Manolo, and when I read in the magazines, I always read that Manolo doesn't particularly care for this Nick. You know he was named after Manolo from Scarface. If you watch Scarface, 55 times and counting. Anyway, so good luck, Sophia. I'm sure you won't have a problem finding another. Then again, I'm sure he won't either. Now, it's time for hookups. It's Uma Thurman and Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, well, they're reportedly dating after decades of working together. You know, they worked together on Pulp Fiction. And, but that was like 20 years ago. Apparently, there's always been a little heat with them. You know, a little, I guess, sexual tension. But everybody was always involved in other relationships. You know, she was involved for many years with Ethan Hawke, the actor, and they have 2 children together. And then she had a baby by a billionaire by the name of Arpad. Yeah, they just have 1, but with a billionaire, that's all you need. So now, you know, she's in her mid-40s and Quentin Tarantino's 52, and this is something that has been simmering on the back burner for a while, so I'm happy for them. Good for them. So, Mariah Carey is worth $500 million, but you can't call her a snob because she still takes the subway. It's our hot shot of the day. Hit it. This is just such a funny picture to me. It looks like she forgot to hold her stomach in. And she's sitting like a dude in a gown. But I guess it's all the people around. You know, she took the subway to a charity event. The Fresh Air Fund was the charity event. And she wrote in her social media, #SubwayInCouture. She was with Jermaine Dupri and one of the heads over at BET on the subway. But there she is, still sitting like a dude and still forgetting to hold her stomach in. The funny thing is that I don't know what she was trying to prove by taking the subway. I'll tell you what, and I ain't nobody's snob. I haven't taken the subway since 1988. I'm not going in that hole. Are you out of your mind? And look, I know many people here today took the subway to get here. I know many people watching. I'm not a subway snob. I'm a girl from New Jersey who's used to driving every place. You know, I like to pull up and double park and run in and get my newspaper and run back out. I don't like to go into that hole to go, buy a new coffee maker and then have to carry it on the subway. You know, I often think about you guys who travel the subway when you come to our show, because on days when we do lots of giveaways, I know you are going home with all this stuff. You got a vacuum cleaner, a coffee maker, all kinds of stuff. How do you manage when you get in that hole? And I remember the only reason why I went in that hole in 1988 is because I just landed a new radio job here in New York. And my boss was going in the hole for something. And I was brand new, so he asked, do you want to go? It might have been like to go uptown to get a sandwich or something. And so I said, okay, we're not gonna take it. Okay. In the hole we go. I held my breath the whole time. God love the subway strap hangers. I'm from Jersey, I like to drive. But good for you, Mariah. You are one of the people. Mm-hmm.